Hello, y'all. Happy Sunday, and welcome to another edition of Thoughts and Views from Mama Longhorn. I am yours truly, Mama Longhorn in the flesh. What a beautiful day here in Austin, Texas. I have a lot to say as usual, so let me get started with some few points that I'll be talking to y'all about today. Starting with, I like to get the negativity out of the way. So I'll start out with the Iowa State game lost last week. Not going to touch a lot about on it. I got home from work. They were doing great. When I got home, they started making bad choices, plays that I couldn't wrap my head around, mistakes, and with that being said, we all know that those do not win ball games. I was very disappointed. They could have won that. They took themselves out of the Big 12 championship contention. But it is what it is. We can't get that one back, folks. So, that's all I'm going to say about that one. And I want to talk about Coach Herman. Yes, I can understand the frustration of last week's game. Let me get this off my chest as well. Do I agree with firing of Coach Herman? No, I don't. I can understand the frustration and the expectations that we have, that some of us have for the UT ball club. There has been conversations between him and athletic director Chris Del Conte. That's between them. I have reports and rumors of 3 candidates for coaching and for next season. Like my mom says, or like my mom used to say, it all comes out in the wash. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Because I believe that he is a great coach. Everyone loves him. I can understand that some have a problem with him just being a regular guy. As I've been hearing. I've also heard that there's been some letters being made by or written by fans being submitted to Chris Del Conte, being emails and just floods of letters coming in about their dismay of the Coach Herman and the Texas football team and how they're playing. It's not necessarily the players, but it's probably the whole staff, the whole club, because people are donating and people are taking it so much to heart that it's messing up their lives and whatever the case may be. But coming from a true Texas fan, I support my team no matter what. I support Coach Herman. We've been through questionable changes with the coaching staff before, so whatever happens, happens, and I will still be a supporter of the Texas Longhorns. Nothing or no one will ever interfere with me on how I feel about the Texas Longhorns, nor will I ever give up on them. So, I'm hearing a lot of naysaying about the team. I can understand the whole frustrations. What can I say? I love all of them. So, I know what they can do. And I'll get to that in a minute about my formula and about my little soapbox that I'd like to be on when I talk about the Longhorns. But before I start, I do want to say that the Texas Longhorn program, they have a lot of money. They do care about their fan base. They love their fan base. But everything's going to go on with or without our approvals. And, they're going to do what's best for the team and the ball club. They do love their fans, don't get me wrong. But us as fans are not going to change anything. We just need to watch and enjoy our team. And I understand if people want to say mediocrity, mediocre, whatever. They have a lot of pressure on them right now. And, the best thing that we can do as fans is just to watch, be there for them, thick and thin, watch them. I do. I'm just happy to watch them and look and watch their talents and be excited every time I turn on a UT football game. Because that's my team. Whether I live in Austin or not, that's my team. So anyway, they don't, whether people choose to change their lives or however it impact, they don't care about you whining in the corner, crying about, how the season's going. Let me tell you what Coach Herman's always told the players, and this is what they care about. Even though they love their fans, he tells them to tune out the noise. The only ones that they should be listening to are their families, their coaches, their teammates, and tune out everything else. So let me go on to my little soapbox here. Because I'm probably a 30-year fan, and I'm old enough to be their mother, like I always said, hence the name Mama Longhorn. So anyway, let me tell you, I came up with a great formula, because in every spiel that I give them every week, this ties in great. I call it TPS, all right? TPS. They have the talent. That brings all the potential they have. Utilize that potential. Talent, potential equals success. And folks, let me give a shout out yesterday's game. That was a complete turnaround. I know. Okay, before I start talking about yesterday's game, let me just say that I know it's a little too late about how they played yesterday and compared to the season, the whole season, this whole season. We can't get those back. I would love for them to play like they did yesterday and get some of them back. Some of them victories, those key victories back. But we can't go backwards. All we can do is go forward and go from here. So, that being said, I just want to talk about yesterday's game and how great they did everything that I tell them every week. This is what I expect from them. If I was on the field and I could have each and every one of them in front of me, this is exactly what I would tell them. I would say, look, make good decisions, make good plays, play smart, and play as a team, as a family. Do it for each other. Have fun. Be safe. That, my friends, is a guaranteed. You put all that together, you're going to win ball games. Because you'll stay focused on what's at hand. You're going to utilize all that talent on the field. You're going to be playing up to your full potential. And that, my friends, equals success. And that's what wins ball games. So Mama Longhorn has spoken. That's my formula for key success. So anyway, let me go on to the next topic at hand. I would love to talk about some breakout players and breakout plays. But first, I want to get this out of the way. There's been some confusion about running back Keontae Ingram. He has decided to opt out for the rest of the season, including yesterday's game, this coming week's game, and the bowl game that they're going to have. He did have an ankle injury that kind of hindered him after the Oklahoma State game. Now, there has been some rumors circulating that he's opted out and he's planning on transferring. That may not be the case. It sounds like reports coming from Coach Herman himself, that the media has hyped it up, that he did not opt out. And also Keontae Ingram's Twitter said, I quote, "Can I just opt out for an injury? Let me have my space. Let me breathe a little." So, a lot of people are saying, rumors from numerous reports, that he was planning on entering the portal of transfer. According to Coach Herman, he said, no, that's not true. He is opting out because of an ankle injury, and he thought it was best to opt out to rest his ankle and to come back in January, or to rest his ankle for the next 2 weeks, and to come back in January in the off season. We'll see what happens with that, folks, because it's still a developing story. But in the meantime, he has not opted out because Coach Herman said if that was the case, there's paperwork involved, and he would have to sign it. And he said he did not receive any paperwork, and he did not sign any paperwork. So if anything, he probably talked him in. And I can understand there's a couple factors, even if he was wanting to transfer. It's because of the possible coach change that may or may not happen, and because of the playing time, but I doubt it. He's my little dimply guy. I love Keontae. And I know he hasn't produced as much as he's wanted this season, but he's still a great player. But I wish him well either way he goes. No ill will here. I don't have any ill will towards any of my Longhorns. Deciding what. Now, with that being said, we do have 2 Longhorns that did opt out and are declaring for the draft. Offensive tackle Sam Cosme and safety Caden Stearns. They're on to the draft, but we kind of knew that was going to happen anyway. Because they are expected to go in the top rounds in the draft. Now, Sam Cosme is probably more ready, but Caden Stearns, as much as I love him, he's a piranha, smash and grab kind of guy, player he's got that piranha out of the water plays and grabs those balls up, and he has that great safety skills where he goes and he's like a smash and grab, I love those. Very aggressive. I kind of, because of injuries, I understand too the factor he may be thinking about, so he doesn't, no more injuries, so he's good for the NFL. But then again, I want him to make sure he's ready for the NFL, because I'm afraid because of the injuries he hadn't had enough playing time. Because when he's on, he's on, and as well as I do, if you watch football and you see some of these great safeties in some of these NFL teams. We have some of the best safeties that come out of the Texas Longhorns. Like Kenny Vaccaro and Earl Thomas when he doesn't have a hot head. And Holton Hill and what's his name? Deshaun Elliott. All them guys. And there's plenty more where that came from too, out of Texas. So anyway. Now I will go into some breakout plays. So anyway, I will wish them the best. I can't wait to watch the draft and come late April and early May. And we don't know who else is going to be in the draft. We'll find that out at the end of the season. And I wish them all the best. I really, really do. Because I know that they can play up to their full potential, and that's all I want for my guys in the NFL. Because right now we have 31 Longhorns in the NFL. And they're doing quite well, very successful, and I love them. And that's the reason why, folks, I really love football. I watch it for the plays. I watch it for the love of football. Nothing else matters when I'm watching football. Nothing else matters what's going on in the game or what they do and what they don't do. I watch the players play football. That's all I watch. When I'm thinking NFL, I watch the football on the field. I don't watch what's going off the field, what they're doing, and like I said, we're all going to do things that we like and don't like, but when it comes to football, I'm watching how they're playing. I don't care about anything else. Because I watch football for the love I have for football. And that's all that matters to me. And there are a lot of great players in the NFL, on and off the field. So let me get off my soapbox about that. I do want to talk about some breakout players. If y'all watch any of my videos or know me, I'm always talking about breakout players and breakout plays. So, yesterday, true freshman, Bijan Robinson, running back to Bijan Robinson, 5-star running back from Phoenix, Arizona, or he's from Arizona. So anyway, he had some great runs. This kid has been stepping up, revving up every game that I see. Finally, he got his first touchdown yesterday and more. He got 3 touchdowns. One of them was a 75-yard run for a touchdown. It was great playing with him. Great throwing by quarterback Sam Ellinger. I don't expect anything less from him. And then we had some great plays on the defense. True freshman, Jaron Thompson. Safety, hello. Again, safety. The best safeties come out of the Texas Longhorns. Or Texas, period, really. But anyway, he picked the ball off, and that led to another Texas touchdown. So everyone contributed beautifully yesterday. It was sharing the wealth with the ball. Everybody made key plays. They played together as a team, as a family, and they did everything I knew they could do. That is the team that I keep talking about. Just like any other good team, I know we have our off years, our off days, off games, whatever. Nonetheless, Texas Longhorns. And I'm not trying to have them overrated or overhyped. They're my team. I happen to love my team, and that's the whole point of my show, folks. Whether you love me or not, thank you for tuning in if you do. But I'm a Longhorn, and this is what I do best. I talk about Texas football and my Texas Longhorns. So, anyway, there has been some breaking news that came out of Austin this afternoon. And the regular practice today, as y'all know, the protocols for practicing in any team, as far as I know, any team, but I do know the Texas Longhorns, the protocol is to be COVID-19 tested every day. So there has been some breaking news and reports coming out of the Texas Longhorns that 3 players and 2 staff members have tested positive for COVID-19 at today's practice. Now, they were negative when they went to Manhattan, Kansas to play the Kansas State Wildcats. So, but as we all know, sometimes we don't know, who does and who doesn't have this virus, because some of us don't show symptoms and we're spreading it around. That's the whole importance of testing on the team every day. So they have not, and they can't release names of who all these, but the point is I wish them all well on their recovery, and I pray that they all get better and the rest of the team is all healthy. So what's going to happen is they have sent, of course, everyone home, shut down the facilities. They're going to test tomorrow and Tuesday and go from there and determine what they need to do as far as, going on with practice and the up-and-coming game with the Kansas Jayhawks coming up on Saturday, this next Saturday at 2:30 in Lawrence. So we'll see what happens on that, folks. Stay tuned. As soon as I know, I'll pass that along. But I right now, I just pray for the well-being of everyone. That's the most important thing. Let's go with, let's see, Tuesday. Let's see, so they're going to reevaluate all that stuff, from tomorrow and Tuesday. And I just want us to end a little on a key notes that I'd like to share. And this can go on momentum towards next season. So they have, depending on what's happening with the COVID, hopefully they can get this game played. That's scheduled for this next Saturday, and the bowl game, whatever bowl game they get. There's some questions about Sam Ellinger returning as quarterback for next season. My take on that, he is eligible, of course, if he'd like to go to the draft. He has a great chance of going somewhere. He is eligible. However, he is eligible for a 5th year to come back because by NCAA rules, this season, it does count, but it doesn't. So a lot of kids can come back next year, especially the ones that have opted out for this season. They can come back next year. My opinion on Sam. Of course, that's a decision he would have to talk over with his coaches and his mom and his family, and what's best for Sam. But the vibe that I get from him is if he has any unfinished business that he'd like to take care of, that he unfinished business that he didn't get to do here in Austin with the Texas Longhorns, he may be back. He has a lot to still prove, not to really us, but to himself. He is very competitive, so he may come back just for that. And he has a lot more playing. He'd like to, like I said, he'd like to finish some of that unfinished business. He's already with his stats going to go down as one of the Texas Longhorn legends. There's no doubt about that. Some people may say, oh, he hasn't lived up to his expectations, his potential. He's going to be so much better. He has shattered already records and everything else. He's like the number 2 quarterback. He could be the number 1 if you wanted. And I think it's a great idea if he did come back, because then he would go up in the stats. Better for him in the draft next year, and possibly a real big bid for that Heisman Trophy. But that's his decision. We'd love to see him come back because we do love Sam. Not that the Horns couldn't be perfectly capable with talented quarterbacks in the waiting, because we do have talented quarterbacks in the waiting now. So we'll be in good hands either way. So I just wanted to share my thoughts and views on that. My husband and I were talking about that, and we think that it would be great for him to come back and finish a few things that he probably, he's probably thinking too, that he'd like to come back and have a redo on some of the things that, And that being said too, with the whole COVID nonsense, and the reason why I say nonsense is because I wish that we weren't battling a pandemic, and it's messing up a whole lot of things. I know it's dealt us a crazy deck of cards this year for all of us. But I'm hoping too that this season will help Coach Herman and his job and give him another shot. I don't think he's done yet either, and he still has a lot. He still has a lot to do, and I think he can be very. He's still, in my book, in my opinion, he's a successful coach. He's not a bad coach. He just needs a little bit more time with the team, I think, and we can get where we need to be, or a little bit closer to there. And I don't really appreciate people. That's why I kind of deleted myself from other groups that's pertaining to the Longhorns, because I don't agree with people calling him a POS and all this other nonsense, and it's uncalled for. I've met Coach Herman. He's great. He's a great guy. He's a great father figure for these kids. I know he's a regular guy, but everyone respects and loves him. I don't really know anyone who doesn't like him, like any of the players. They've all expressed great love and support and respect for him. And he holds them accountable when they need to be. And I understand it, like, again, everyone's frustration, but I don't think firing him yet is the answer. I really don't. So hopefully this, whatever happens, though, I'm still going to be a big fan of the Longhorns. And like I said, I never quit. I'm like a Longhorn. I never quit. And I don't expect my guys to quit. They got a lot of fight in them. And that's what Longhorns stand for. Have you ever heard of the, hell, I even got it on my shoulder here, Texas Fight. Have you ever heard of that? That gives a new meaning. That's why we have Texas Fight. Because that's what Longhorns do. We fight. So anyway, with that being said, that's all I got, folks, for this edition of Thoughts and Views of Mama Longhorn. I know I went off on a tangent a little bit, but hey, I got nothing but love and compassion for our Texas Longhorns. Until next time, guys, probably next week. I love each and every one of y'all. I hope every one of y'all has a great week, and hook 'em horns. Thank y'all for watching.